First, on our list, we have basic setup, wiring, connecting cameras to PoE, connecting CCTV and internet, and connecting the dongle key. So, connecting cameras to PoE. Some installers will be using PoE switches and non-PoE switches, and to connect your PoE cameras to a PoE switch is simple as plug and play. You connect the camera through via the PoE switch. Some people who are using non-PoE switches can power their cameras directly by a DC-12 or through a PoE injector. And there are many multiple ways of installing PoE cameras. You do not need a PoE switch to do such. It's just much simpler and easier to set up through a PoE switch. Now, difference between CCTV and internet on the back of our systems. You have an Ethernet port for the internet connection and a CCTV port for your CCTV network. The CCTV networks that we have designed that we advise you guys to use are closed networks. So the PoE switches and all of your IP cameras are all separate from the already pre-laid network that whatever company you're installing it currently has set up. This will allow to make sure there's no IP overlaps, there's no data being bogged at specific sources. It just helps keep everything maintained and organized, as well as much more secure. When you're setting up your CCTV network, it is as simple as setting up any PoE setup in any form of a network whatsoever. You just connect them all to the PoE switches, and then the final PoE switch gets connected into the CCTV port in the back of the DVR. It will be labeled. And then for the internet connection, for us to be able to help troubleshoot, or if they want to be able to view the NVR remotely, you can use the internet source and plug that into the internet Ethernet port. They will be labeled. And then connecting the dongle key. When you purchase an NVR PRO system, you will receive this little blue USB stick looking device. It is not a USB stick, it is a license key, or such we call it a dongle key. All you need to do is have it connected to one of the USB ports and it'll work. It should flash blue. It should have a blue light coming from it when it's connected that shows it is working and has been registered on the computer. Now, we'll be moving on to searching for IP cameras, how to use the IP manager and changing IP addresses. So, we have this nifty little tool called the IP manager. It is a wonderful little utility. When you open it up, all you have to do is click this little find button, and you will be able to see every single IP camera that is on your system, regardless if they have overlapping IP addresses or not. It searches through the MAC address rather than the IP address. And through here, you can even change the IP address, subnet mask, gateway, and even the web port. All you have to do is select your camera, right-click, and IP change. And just go through here and change whatever information you'd like. The only thing you cannot change is the RTSP port, otherwise known as the stream port. That has to be done within the camera itself. Next on our list will be configuring IP cameras, changing the frames per second, keyframes, and bit rate, as well as enabling motion and disabling external video. So I'm going to use one of our test cameras to log in. And to log into the camera, all you have to do is put in the IP address : the web port, and the web port for this one is 8071. Now, to change the frames per second, keyframes, and bitrate, all we have to do is go over to the Stream tab, and the first tab that opens up is the video section. Select the Show and Hide button, and you'll be able to see the frame rate, the keyframes, and the bitrate. So if you would like to change any of these values, these are not currently the default values, but the values that we recommend people using: 10, 10, 2500. You can even change the resolution as well up here. And then you save it, it'll reboot the camera. It'll take about 60 seconds to do the entire process. Now, enabling motion. To enable motion on the camera side, all you need to do is go into the Event tab. The first section that will pop up is the motion section. All you have to do is click the Enable checkbox, click the All Set button. You will see these red boxes with lines going through them, and then save. That's all is required for setting up motion. Now, disabling external video. To do that, go back to the Stream tab and EXT video, and you can disable it here. The external video is used for spot monitors or your testing monitors for helping to position your cameras while you're in front of the camera. But we recommend disabling the external video after you've installed, because it might cause your video stream to be unstable. All you have to do is save it, and you're done there. So now we've done everything within the camera. Our next section will be adding HDD storage. Now, for some of you, later on, you may decide, your customer may request to add more storage space, or maybe you add more cameras and you need more storage space because you had the minimum amount of number of hard drives required for the amount of cameras you had. As we can only safely put up to about 5 cameras per hard drive. So to add hard drive storage, all you need to do is go into your storage configuration manager, locate the hard drive. Right here I have the test hard drive for this purpose. Select the New Volume button. Select Using HD. That will use the entire hard drive. Find the hard drive, move it over to the right-hand side, name it, add to list, and then create. It will reformat the hard drive and add the storage space to the hard drive. Now, the bigger your hard drive, the longer that this will take. It's only a 30 gig hard drive, so it shouldn't take too long. Okay. Now, the next section on our list is the NVR PRO setup. Adding cameras, the video setup, record setup, motion setup, and creating a layout. So I'll go ahead and do that while I was adding the storage. So first section you're going to go into is the configuration mode. That can be identified by the wrench icon in the top middle of the NVR PRO software. When you're here, you'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner a little plus sign for adding cameras. What I do is select it, add manually, and you'll get the add manually window. First thing you're going to do in here is find the vendor, which will be AVS. Leave the model as AVS generic. The IP address will be whichever IP address for your camera. And for the test camera that I'm using, 92.168.1.71. My account is the username. Password's the password. Connection port will be the web port. And then add. Now you can add multiple cameras through here. All you have to do is just change whatever information is different. If you change the username and password or the web port and the IP address, just change it and just click add. Once you've added all the cameras, select import cameras in the bottom right hand corner and it'll add the cameras. Okay. When that is finished, you'll have this little pop-up. This is where you'll have all the cameras listed on the left-hand side, and then you'll be able to click on each individual camera and set it up. So the first area we'll go to is the video. Here, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the Profile Selection drop-down and select Generic. It'll add all the generic data. You can then change the name. Change the video port if that is different. And then, very important, change the streaming protocol from RTP/RTSP to RTP over RTSP. Select Apply. And then you should receive a picture. Now, the next section is the record setup. So we go into the recording settings, and here's where we can assign the camera to specific hard drives. Select the Assign Storage. Here's our hard drive. Hit Completed. Select your hard drive, and then click Apply. Now, currently, it is in continuous record. If all you like is continuous record, you can stop it here. But if you like motion record, we can continue on. For motion record, the first thing you're going to do is change this 24x7 schedule to disable and apply it. And then move over to the Alarm tab, select Motion on Alarm Record and the Use as Alarm. Apply. And then anytime there is motion, it will record. Okay, next we have our layout. To set up the layout, all we need to do is go into the display mode, which is indicated by this eye symbol. And here, in the top right hand corner, you can select whatever type of layout you'd like. Everything from single camera to quad to all the way up to 64. Different styles, different setups. You take your cameras and you're going to drag them over to whatever window you wish them to be in. Once you have your camera layout, you're going to go over to this top right hand corner, and this little box symbol with a plus in it will say add layout. When you hover over it, just go ahead and click this. And here you can name the layout. And it'll be saved. And if you ever decide to change any settings here, like say you add new cameras or swap the cameras around, all you have to do is click the little save icon up here. And if you wish to add more patterns and layouts, all you need to do is click the layout selection. You'll revert back to this screen, or you can add whatever camera layouts you wish, and then you can save a second pattern. And you can swap back and forth between your patterns. So that is the layout setup. Next on our list is search. Functions of searching. Searching using the VCP. Okay. Since we have a request to show you the ROIs, so I'll go back and show you the ROI. So all you need to do to set up an ROI is right-click the camera and select New ROI. You can then move it. I want to do this doorway. Did it? So all you need to do is when you have it positioned, select it, hold Control, and just drag it over to another square. Well, I've already added this one here, but now we have a region of interest. Now I'll move on to the search. So using the VCP, which is what we have down here at the bottom. Now, to toggle the VCP, all you need to do is select this button right here, the video control panel. You can turn it on or off. And when you have a camera selected, you can even view the recorded data. Now I'll go over all of these little functions down here. The first section are the time intervals you have over here in the top left-hand corner of the VCP. By selecting time intervals, you'll be able to change the amount of time that you can view. So I have it right now set to 5 minutes, so I can view much more fine amount of time. But if you're looking for an event that's over like a 30-minute hour span, or maybe something that happened in the morning time over the first like 6 hours, you would use a much bigger, broader time scale. And the second, we have these time pins right here. Go ahead and change this. These time pins you can use to select an amount of time. All you have to do is drag and drop these little upside down triangles to select whatever time. So say I just want to select a couple of seconds right here. I have 5 seconds selected now. I could back up or specifically play those 5 seconds over and over. Now, the white view bar right here that I've been editing with allows me to adjust the amount of time that I'm searching. So right now, I currently have it set for 5 minutes. So everything within this white bar is 5 minutes. If I changed it to an hour, everything within this white bar would be an hour's worth of time. Next we have the selection bar, this little yellow bar. All you have to do is double click up here on this top blue bar, and you can view the recording from that time period. So this is a quick way to go back and take a look at recording. Next we have play forward, pause, play backwards, which I assume most of you understand. So the play forward is play, and pause, you can pause the video recording at any point, and then play backwards is just a form of rewind. Next we have the live view button. Down here, it looks like an eye. Say you were watching one camera, but you wish to switch them all back to the live view. All you need to do is click this little eye button. This is go to live mode, and it'll revert it back to the live broadcast. Next, we have the go to date right here that looks like a film strip. All you need to do is click this, and you'll get a calendar pop up, and you can go back to any time that you have recording and view recordings on those dates. Next is the video speed, which is this little section right here, next to the Thunderbolt icon. And so if you wanted to fast forward or see a recording 2 times, 4 times, 8 times speed, and so on and so forth, that is where you would adjust that. Next is the snapshot. So say, for example, I wish for a snapshot of this time. Pause it and take a snapshot. And that'll get saved to your spooler. And I'll explain the spooler in a little bit. Next we have the export to spooler. Now this is where the time pins come in, where all the time that's selected in between the time pins I can export to the spooler, and then later set that up to actually export as a video file. So I currently have those 5 seconds selected. I'm just going to go ahead and export to spooler, and I have that camera's 5 seconds currently selected right there. Next we have the loop, and where I can loop those 5 seconds over and over and over. Now we have the synchronize button, which will allow me to synchronize all of my cameras for whatever time frame I'm looking at. So if, for instance, I am looking at a specific time date, say an incident happened at a location, and you wanted to view all the cameras for that time, you can play back all the cameras at that time using the synchronized playback. And lastly, we have our digital zoom. All we need to do is click this little digital zoom button, and then when we have that selected and highlighted, all I need to do is zoom in using the scroll wheel on my mouse. I can zoom in, zoom out, and do whatever I wish with it. Next, we will move on to backing up. So, backing up parameters, the location of where you're going to save the file, if you want to back up the audio, and file type. So, now that we have these objects inside of our spooler, I want to save it somewhere on my hard drive. So I'm going to take that video clip, for example, check mark it, and then click this export button at the bottom left-hand corner. When I select this export button, I'm going to get a Save To window. Here's where I can choose my export location. So I'm just going to use my desktop. Oh, well, let me use my desktop. I'll use my D drive. I can include the player software. If I back up as an AVA clip, I want to include the player software because the AVA file type is the proprietary file extension. So the only way you're going to be able to play it is if you have this player software. High-speed export mode, all it does is increase the CPU load, and it exports it just a little bit faster. If you want to export the video log as a text file, you can do that. And then if you have audio coming in, you want to make sure that the audio is added onto the video, then just check mark the export clip with audio stream. You can change the file type to this little drop down right here, which is AVI or AVA. AVI will be about 10 times bigger in size-wise, but you'll be able to play it with any form of AVI codec. And the AVA clip, even though it'll be smaller, you're only going to be able to play it with the player software. So I'll just go ahead and export it as an AVA clip. Click Start, and it's exported. Just close, and it's finished. You can do the same thing with the snapshots as well. JPEG. Done. Now, last on our list, we have the mobile apps. So the first one I'm going to go over is the Android app. So for that, I have several folders with images for you guys. Okay, so underneath the Android app market, you're going to find the GVD app. All you have to do is type in GVD NVR, and it'll pop up. Let's just install it, and here's the main screen. From here, you're going to select the little gear icon in the bottom right-hand corner where you can add a server. You're going to use the little plus symbol in the top right-hand corner, and you'll be able to add the IP address and the web port that is used by the NVR server. Once it's added, you'll be able to click on the gear icon to be able to add in the login credentials. And click on the gear icon one more time, and you'll be able to add in the username and password that you have. Once it's added, you'll get that little check mark symbol with how many cameras are in the system. You'll be able to click the little eye symbol, and you'll get all the channels that are listed. Check mark which channels you wish to see. Click the eye symbol again, and you'll get all of your cameras that you've selected. From here, you can maximize one of the cameras by simply clicking on it. And you can also edit the OSD by clicking the OSD button in the bottom middle. You can even do the playback by pressing the little play button. So just search for the time that you wish to play back. You can even change the layout, add more cameras to your layout, and the PTZ function is in there as well. Underneath the, you'll see the little PTZ icon. It looks like a dome camera, and you'll be able to control the PTZ. So that's everything underneath the Android app. It's very simple and straightforward. Next, we have the Apple app. So this will be the first page. It'll ask you for the NVR information right as you open up the app. You can put in the username and password, the IP address and the web port, and then you can select the cameras you wish to view just like in an Android app. And if you don't have any selected, you'll get a warning. You can see a layout, and then you can even change the layout by choosing pattern in the bottom left-hand corner. You can change the quality. For example, if you're using 3G, you can increase the amount of data that it's using. And if you're using Wi-Fi, you can increase or decrease the amount of data it's using. You can center on one of the cameras just by tapping on it and take a snapshot using the snapshot button. And when you have a camera maximized, if you click on the camera screen itself, the bottom bar will change and you'll have different options. You'll see the playback and PTZ buttons. If you select the PTZ button, you'll get your PTZ controls. And if you select the playback button, you'll get the playback controls. And that's everything for the Apple app. Okay, and that is everything for this webinar. If you have any more questions, please go ahead and ask them. I'll leave the webinar open for a couple more minutes, and I hope you all had a good time. Thank you.